Hello, everybody, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review the latest film from Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey, written and directed by Christopher Nolan, who is, well, an Academy Award-winning director at this point. After his recent success of Oppenheimer, Nolan decided he wanted to tackle the story of Homer's Odyssey, although in his own way. The Odyssey, well, everyone is talking about this movie. This movie is getting rave reviews, no surprise. I mean, it is Christopher Nolan, and it is the first ever film, to my knowledge, feature-length, to be shot entirely upon IMAX. And if you know what goes in to shooting IMAX, you'll know that it's a lot of heavy work. So that's to be commended, and considering the length of this movie, that really is to be commended. After the Trojan War, Odysseus faces a dangerous voyage back to Ithaca, meeting creatures like the Cyclops, Sirens, and Calypso along the way. As well as that, you've got Odysseus' son, who is going to find information about where his father has gone, and you've got suitors in Ithaca waiting to marry Penelope, who is the wife of Odysseus. And it's been quite a long time since Odysseus left, and they are unsure when he's returning. So in order to sort of have a peaceful transition, they need to find a suitor to marry Penelope and then inherit Ithaca, and then get a lot of the other suitors out of Ithaca. Of course, being Christopher Nolan, there's a lot more to it than that, but that is a digest version of what you get. The Odyssey. Now, it took me a while to process this film. I had to see the film twice before I could record this, because there is so much that goes on in this movie. And because Christopher Nolan likes to write his movies in such a intricate way, you know, well, the devils are in the details, put it that way. Christopher Nolan likes to treat his audience with intelligence, and I respect that. But this is the first movie where I felt some of his writing may have faltered a bit, but I'll go into that later. This movie is epic. It is a cinematic epic unlike what you've seen. It's all shot practically. There's very little CGI, and even if there is any CGI, you can't really tell where it is. Maybe one or two of the creatures may have some CGI, but for the most part, this is an interesting movie to watch based on that. So if you're someone who wants to study the art of film, wants to go into this industry, I implore you to watch this, because on a technical level, this is one of the best made films in ages. This is tremendous. The craftsmanship that has gone into making this nearly 3-hour movie, and it is like a 3-hour epic, going on this extensive long voyage to get home. And once again, Christopher Nolan proves why he's one of the best directors in this industry, because he actually takes his craft seriously. He loves what he does. There's passion there. There's so much passion missing for a lot of filmmakers nowadays. It really is. As for the movie itself, I don't think it's perfect. I don't think this is Nolan's best film ever made. I do really like it, and I think there's a lot to love about it, but it ain't perfect. Let's get the flaws out of the way first. The length. Okay, I get it. It's supposed to be an epic. It's supposed to be long. There's a lot of details, but at times the movie does slow down a bit. And in particular, for me, what really lets the movie down is actually the third act. Not to say what happens in the third act is bad, but the pace of it. It takes so long to wrap this movie up. There's this whole sequence where Odysseus is disguised, and everything leading up to the challenge with the arrow, and then the final battle, like everything leading up to that, you know, is just so dragged out. You know, there are a lot of moments that I felt like, come on, Nolan, we could either pick up the pace or lose some of this, because I must admit, I was clock watching a few times towards the end. It was getting a bit long. It didn't have the same flow of pace that Oppenheimer did, because at least with Oppenheimer, it felt like 3 movies in one. It felt like, okay, the first film was about his origins and his love life and everything leading up to the creation of the bomb and his work as a professor. Then the middle part was the making of the bomb. And then the third act was the trial, the aftermath, and the moral consequences that the character had to deal with. The Odyssey is very much one movie. It's not 3 acts in one. It's kind of a long, continuous journey, because the story of the Odyssey is very long and complicated, and you know, it's hard to sort of know where it begins and where it actually ends. You know, it's all based on, you know, historical accounts, and Greek mythology is certainly very interesting. I really do enjoy exploring that in movies, but there's a time and a place to cut things short. And Nolan doesn't do short. He doesn't do it. Very rarely does Christopher Nolan do short. Some of the dialogue does not feel like Christopher Nolan. Some of the dialogue feels very contemporary. Like the use of swearing, it doesn't work with the period of this film when characters start effing and jeffing. It's just, to me, that just feels more like someone interfered with Nolan's script. And so you have to throw that in there, you know. It's just archetypal, generic Hollywood bollocks shit writing, you know, and that sounds detrimental to Christopher Nolan. It's not necessarily his fault, but I think a bit of a proofread of some of the dialogue would have probably helped, because some of that took me out of the moment. There's been a lot said about certain characters speaking with American accents as well. That doesn't bother me too much. I can understand where people are coming from, because at times you do have to adjust. You have to take things as they come. And certainly when, you know, people like Tom Holland, who is English, like me, he puts on an American accent for this movie. At times it takes a while to adjust, but it's kind of like the ape thing in Better Man. Once you adjust to it, you can just go along with it. The production design, the visuals are spectacular. The action sequences are tremendous. This movie is epic, and it is loud. The sound design is really, really loud. I saw it in standard. I didn't see it in IMAX, and it felt really loud. I didn't sit that close to the front. So yeah, the sound mixing, sound design, impressive as it is, very loud. The camera work is really, really good. Some of the shots are epic, and a lot of the wide shots, you really feel the depth and the scope of this world. And Christopher Nolan's very good at creating this world on screen, and I really, really enjoyed seeing that explored here. There's a lot of kind of dark sequences as well, and there's one scene in particular which features the actress Samantha Morton. Well, let's just say that is the best scene in the movie. It is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying. Well, I mean, you have to see it. It really is freaky. I mean, both times it's like toe curling, it's gut-wrenching. It's like, oh god, like I winced and I literally went, oh no, in the cinema both times. That is the best scene of the film. That's like Christopher Nolan doing a horror movie. It's so effective, and the visual effects in that scene are seamless. This movie's going to win an Oscar for sure. There's been a lot said about the casting choices in this movie, and I actually think they're all quite good. I think Matt Damon actually is rather good as Odysseus. This is one of my favorite performances that he's ever given in any movie. I think he does a really good job carrying the emotional weight of this film. A lot of the film is told from his perspective and his journey, although we do cut back to other events, but we get to really see a lot of his life and a lot of the struggle he had to get home, and sort of the weight that the character is bearing after the Trojan War is also really interesting. There's a lot of political drama as well, which is probably the lesser interesting stuff that's going on, but it's still very good to explore that. Tom Holland is a standout as the son, Telemachus. I can't pronounce the names properly, sorry. Anne Hathaway as Penelope. I really liked her, although she did feel a little underserved. I thought she could have had a bit more to do, but I thought, on the whole, great performance. Robert Pattinson, once again, plays a slimeball. Robert Pattinson is a great actor. He's really improved in his acting since he was younger, and I like him here. I mean, he doesn't get that much to do, but when he is in the film, he does, you know, give himself a lot of presence, and he stands out. He plays a slimeball, put it that way. But he's really become one of the most engaging screen presences to watch, and I can't wait to see him in The Batman Part 2. John Leguizamo is in this film. John Leguizamo, you know, Sid from Ice Age. He plays a great role. He plays the old blind man. I don't know his name. I don't know the character's name. But I really like John Leguizamo. He was one of my favourite performances in this film. A really understated, controlled performance. What a role for him. You know, great way to show some range. And also Elliot Page, formerly known as Ellen Page, who worked with Christopher Nolan on Inception, plays a soldier in this film who is quite crucial to the story in many ways, although a very brief character, does appear a good couple of times, and I thought he did a great job. And Himesh Patel also appears in this film. He plays one of the soldiers that is with Odysseus on the quest, and I really like Himesh Patel in this one. Again, plays it with an American accent, but accent aside, very convincing, very strong. I did also feel that the soundtrack was a mixed bag for me. Some of the music is really, really good. Other times the music feels a little bit too contemporary and doesn't really fit. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. It kind of reminded me of Tenet, where the music was a bit overbearing, kind of drained out the main sound of what was going on. And like I said, a bit of an overlong third act, but overall, this is a really good movie. Definitely can see why people are loving this. I think it's a great film to experience in the cinema. It's got some fantastic moments and some horrific moments. It's dark, it's mature, it's epic. It's quite astonishing the amount of things this film is and can be, and you can interpret it how you will. It's not a film that you can watch for light entertainment. You do have to pay attention to the details. There's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of talking. The pace is slow, certainly in various moments, but if you stick with it, you know, it is a great experience. And I don't know if this will hit the same on home media. I don't know if this is actually going to have the same effect when you're not watching it in a cinema. Like a lot of Nolan's work, you know, I found like Oppenheimer more engaging in a cinema. I think with Nolan, you have to be so immersed in the IMAX format to really appreciate his films, so watching them at home might not be the same. I really like The Odyssey. Not my favourite Nolan film, but a very good one. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. That's it. Thank you for watching my review of The Odyssey. What do you think? Please comment down below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. Until next time, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.